Okay, welcome to ANZCRL Combined Racing League's Team Endurance Championship. We're in the session 2 of round 1 here at Road America. I'm your host, Woody Liz, and alongside me is Sado15. How are you, Sado?
I'm good, Woody. Thank you again for running this broadcast. Session 2 here at Road America. And the start times are quite close, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, we'll quickly run through that because they're about to start, I'd say. So we've obviously got a staggered grid. We've got compression times worked up. So the man we're looking here, Dado Racer, will go at the green, as is Nürburgring in the GT4. You can see just there in the 59. They go at the green. Then we've got some wait times. We've got 23 seconds for Commander Cirrus in that Monster Energy LMP3 car. So they go. And then we've got the 25 seconds before Dark Racing 40 goes there. And then the second of the GT4s of Jetto in the KTM Expo will go at the 25 second mark as well. So these guys were obviously a benefit from getting a little bit of a gap in the session last night, Sado. And big thing though between the LMP3 battle that we're going to see tonight will be that there's a minimum of 3 stops throughout the event, and these two cars of Commander Cirrus and Dark Racing 40 have already done their 2 stops, so they've only got to do 1. But the lead of Dado Racing, he's just only done the 1 mandatory stops. They still need to do the 2 stops. So we'll see some strategy pan out for the LMP3 race.
Yep, absolutely. So for Cirrus and Darky, it's all going to be about making sure they can keep up with Dado and put Dado under pressure, knowing that Dado has to do 2 pit stops.
Yeah, exactly, and that's and for those viewers that understand may not be aware, myself, obviously you've already had our session with Sado as well. I drove this car here that I'm teaming up with Dado Racer, the number 8 in Janetta, and Commander Cirrus was the man that had the fastest lap of a 2:19, I think it was it? No, 1:59. Sorry, 1:59 in this car here with Dark Racing 40. So it's got a lot of pace there. The only Ligier in the field. But mighty quick.
This is the car that a couple of years ago won the Imola 4 hours for our group, so it's got winning credentials that we're hoping to carry through into this series.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's got some rich history, that car. So and it's obviously in some good hands with yourself and Dark Racing 40. So, but this man here, Commander Cirrus, is trying to do what he can do after a great drive by Dark Lord last night as well. Had to pit early. But came back into the running there late in the race between you and him.
Yeah, well, it helped too by the fact that I felt entitled to keep hedging the front of my car into the barriers.
Yeah, well, these can happen. As you can see, the yellow display on our map there, that's for the 2 GT4 cars still waiting to get started. The first of the Mustangs have to wait just over 7 minutes from the time compression. They disconnected with about 35 minutes remaining last night. And then we've also got the one of the Janettas, which is one of the race favourites. Actually, Highland was leading the race early on, about lap 11, early in the session. Got disconnected, so that's with a time compression.
It's this Janetta there, driven by Lolux. He's got to wait for the 10 minutes before he can start.
Yeah, 9 minutes 55. The cut-off is 10 minutes. They don't wait any more than 10 minutes. So even if it did extend to that more than 10 minutes, that was the maximum he would have to wait. This is their wildcard entry tonight, in the KTM Expo, Crossbow I should say, number 29, Team Ago or something it's called.
Yep. Yeah,
Team
last
start
minute entry that.
Yeah, so
just,
definitely. Yeah. Good to see a wildcard entry coming there for that as well. So I think Commander Cirrus took control of that last night. Actually came home second, so we've only limited practice in the car.
Yeah, he only had the 20 minutes beforehand, and was able to keep out of trouble for the most part and finish second. He did cause me a scare by spinning right in front of me and had to take evasive action. Almost ended my race there.
Yeah, but lucky as I did actually hear you through the comms there, and that's one thing that obviously the viewers don't hear, but we did hear obviously Sado say, well, that's a beautiful thing of a bit of downforce that the LMP3 cars do have. He was able to quickly adjust his line to avoid that accident fairly quickly. But you still got to be sharp on your sensors, don't you, Sado? Because these things bite you pretty hard, though.
Yeah, exactly right. I think seriously, Dark Racing 40 are very close to each other at the moment.
Yeah, it was they only had a 2-second gap before they had a 23 and a 25-second wait time. So Darky's actually taken about half a second. As you can just see him up on the grass out on the exit of turn 1. Not hard to do when you're pushing into that first corner. It's such a fast corner, 4th gear.
And in our leisure, turn 1 was very difficult, I found. It just wanted to step the rear end out even, and the curbs there are vicious. That's what caught me unstuck last night.
Yeah, right. So it's these big wide curbs on these LMP3s as well. They just don't like getting them over the bottom tray. They just get stuck up and whoops basically, and they just slide on them. So they lose traction and everything. So
I found the wide. I had the car setups. The wide curbs weren't a problem, but these narrow curbs were awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if your wheel gets over the top of that, you're gone, because that's when that plate's going to be sitting on it, isn't it, really? And you're going to be scraping your bottom plate.
Yeah.
Dado's a bit fast in his in that second sector, so he's on for a fast time here. So if I look at Dark, he's already done a 2-minute 0.9 on the chase.
Yeah, so the pace is already there.
And it's considerably hotter, we've been told tonight too, in this second session. We were running at around about 32-degree track temperatures last night in the first hour and a half session. And tonight's hour and a half session, they're saying they've reported back around about 51 degrees, so about a 20-degree increase in track temperature. This is going to be a little bit tricky with the tyres. Most of the guys will be running on the soft tyres.
Yeah, so it's going to put pressure, especially, I know I did only change the 2 front tyres last night, so it'd be interesting to see if you can get away with that, or if you have to do all 4 tyres.
Well, I think the safe option, I thought, was me, Sado. I know we're in 2 competitive teams. I'd be going all 4. I think I'd maybe settle the balance, only just changing to a grippier tyre on the front, and maybe cause the just to be stepping out a little bit more and give it a bit of imbalance. But some drivers can drive through that, so everyone with their own there.
Yeah.
Once those soft, or what do you call them, the bollards go on the inside of that corner, you'll start seeing some of these cars starting to use a bit more of that track and get up on that concrete inside curb a little bit. Just don't want to be the pioneer and hit them over, because you can get a little bit of aero damage, and we know that these cars are very aero dependent.
Yeah, mind you, I did hit one of the bollards last night and didn't get any damage from it.
Yeah, okay, you might have just been lucky there, mate, who knows. But yeah, sometimes you can get damage, sometimes not.
Tell you, looking at Dado's car this lap, it's looking absolutely beautiful the way it's riding.
Yeah, he's a master of the setup there in this car, and I think we may just have seen the second last car. Tim and Jack may have just taken off, I think, to get going. He would have already been going, so we should only have the one car of Lolux waiting.
Uzi's up at, he's already over at turn 4 now.
Yeah, the big bulky Mustang, the older of the GT4 Mustangs, actually the boss Mustang.
Yes, so it was 2012, 13, something around there.
Yeah, something like that. The other one was a 2016 one, I think. So there's a bit of a gap there, but they've chosen to take this one for a spin. They did try the 2, and they just found this one had a bit more pace, but I've been told it's a bit of a handful. Not as nimble as some of the other GT4 cars, so they've got a longer braking stopping distance in this car, but that's for obvious reasons. They're actually hitting a higher speed as well at the same time.
He's got a lift for that king too. There's a lot of weight on that in that chassis, so yeah, it's just lumbering along. It's got some good straight line speed to counteract its laziness in the corners.
I tell you what, FCA Filth, who ran it last night, he was unlucky, he got disconnected, and he's been working on it all week, and it looked like he was fairly comfortable in it last night. It was unfortunate he got disconnected. Also battling a little bit of a back problem at the same time, in his own personal back problem, so he did well to be there last night. Might be wise maybe to have a look at, if we can, maybe look at the fuel levels through the field, maybe just to see some of these strategies. Obviously, the main talking point will be obviously this man here, Dado Racer.
He's got the 60 litres.
Yeah, they must have, looks like they started on the full fuel. As has Dark Racer, so they're all basically 69 litres. Not too sure on different fuel levels for these GT4s, but we've got obviously Jetto. We're told that this car could almost make it without a stop, but obviously he's still got a minimum one stop to make, to take, and then illogical spoils at 85.9. Just see Dark Racing getting in front of the Mustang of Commander Jim.
Bolux has taken off now.
Yeah, so he's into the race. Welcome to the race there.
Okay, so that's interesting. So Nürburgers must have gone for a lighter fuel tank to start.
Oh, well, they have been sitting not using any fuel though, really. Oh, but he has, 60 litres. Yeah, you're right. He has gone on lower fuel. Obviously wants to get out and run and try and get that gap in front of Jetto before he has to pit, but then the stationary time for that extra fuel he's going to have to put in may bring him back towards Jetto. What did he have, a 25 seconds gap, I think, originally off the start?
Yeah.
Between him and Jetto.
Sirius has actually had a very poor lap in that last one by, same with Dado. So I think it looks like they've been balked by a bit of traffic.
Yeah, it's not hard to lose that 3 or 4 seconds, especially around where Darky is here now, but he might be able to duck down
that's
the inside.
ambitious.
Logical Sports has drifted a little bit wide, probably caught him a bit unawares in the Porsche.
Well, it's an easy move to dive down the inside when you see the GT4 car run wide.
Yeah, look, that didn't really cost Darky. He's only 0.2 of a second off his fastest lap at the moment, so he's actually pushing on, and he's been able to bridge that gap between him and Xeris.
Yeah, and both these guys seem to be closing up on Dado just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe the track's sort of coming and going, and depending on what the conditions are like, a bit more shadow comes over the track, maybe give him a bit more grip here or there.
Sirius actually had a faster lap on that. Oh no, sorry, I take that back. I thought that was the 201 for Darky. It's a 2:0.
Yeah, he's screaming at the moment with a nice time there. Obviously put some pressure early on the number 80 of Boom Tweaks Racing, who's obviously, as we know, have to make an extra pit stop compared to these two scheduled stops.
Yeah,
we're not
so at the
taking
moment,
into account of any damage.
Yeah, so at the moment, Dado's is effective third place at the moment.
That's correct, yes. Pit transit time, I think, without any fuel or anything, is around about 45 seconds.
Yeah, 45 seconds.
Yeah, so he's going to have to try and get some time up his sleeve if he can. There's still a long way though. We've got a lot of traffic to get through, and we did see that it wasn't uncommon to lose 3 to 4 seconds depending where you got caught up with the lap traffic. Yes. So it's up to the LMP3, the faster car. They've got the aero and the horsepower to make that move cleanly and not disturb the GT4 cars, especially if they're in a battle of their own. The GT4 cars do not have to yield.
This is going to hurt Darky. Oh, maybe not. He's the... Oh, no. earth?
Tim, Tim and Jack went right wide. I think he was too sure
Got
what was going to
spooked.
happen there. Ducky. Yeah, got a bit spooked. These things happen though. That's why it's good that all our members here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League, we all help one another, and it's obviously a different style of racing, having these faster cars and the slower cars, the multi-class racing, which is leading us up to our big event. Come up very shortly is our Le Mans 24 Hours, which really looking forward to bringing to everyone.
Yeah, a massive shake up in the grid by looks of things. There's a few guys switching from prototype to GTs and the other way around. The winning Audi teams are now driving a Porsche.
Yeah, teaming up the Porsche. I'm driving Porsche also with Nürburgring, so and I think we're all in the Porsche with Dark Racing 40.
Yep.
So we're all going to be teammates and hopefully do Porsche proud at the ANZ 24 at Le Mans.
Get off the grass, Starkey.
Event. And that's coming up on the 19th and 20th of June next month. So if you want to head over to our website at aus-nzcrl.weebly.com, you'll find all the information there. Or you'll also find us on Facebook searching for our group name, which we've also got it just short, ANZCRL. It's a private group, so you need to reply to 3 of the questions we ask. So we only accepting members from Australia or New Zealand to race here on Xbox Project Cars 2. And this man Sato here is also a keen iRacing man on the PC, and we've got our own team, ANZCRL, which not at the moment, but it's around, and there are those special events that they do like to get together. So come and join our community and get amongst it all. But mainly we're an Xbox group for the Project Cars 2 franchise. I should just say the game. We only play the Project Cars 2 game.
Yeah, no. Won't speak about Project Cars 3.
So we've got Janetta here.
That's her, Cirrus.
That's the Cirrus. The big brother of the Janettas, overtaking the smaller GT4 Janetta.
Yeah. Here we go. Starkey close enough to make a lunge.
Oh, Cirrus is protecting that
close.
line a little bit. With the pace that they have, it's very hard to try and duck it down the inside there with these cars. It's more about trying to pressure them into a little mistake. I know that I was in this position around here running a little bit wide out of that corner last night with yourself there behind me, Sato, and it's not hard to do when you know that you've got a faster man behind you, knowing that they're going to try and get a good run down this straight. Big opportunity to overtake in the next turn 3. Left hook it up.
Well, the person who has the big opportunity here is Dado. If these guys get into hard battle, it gives Dado the chance to extend his gap. And Dado in the last lap close to setting that fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, but at the moment, Cirrus is just up. I just noticed it came up there in Sector 1, so they're charged. Even though they're battling, he's actually pushing himself. He's the fastest first sector that he's done so far.
Yeah,
we'll see if he can continue this on.
This section's going to hurt Darky with the dirty air. These cars, even these LP3 cars that don't quite have the downforce of their bigger brothers, it still produce a large dirty weight that is hard to follow.
Yeah, I think if you're flying in, then he's up again. He's holding around that 0.1 of a second faster than what he's done previously. So he's on for a nice lap here if he can continue on.
These types of pressure is what can make or break a driver, especially in this league with so many competitive fast drivers in the field.
Yeah, that's right. We've all progressed throughout the years, and our pace ever increases a little bit. But in saying that, we've got all types of abilities racing all up and down the field throughout our series. So everyone is welcome. And we also have some fun nights every now and then too, where we can let off some steam, which is a bit of fun for us all.
Here we go. Illogical Sports has caught up to Jetto. This is the battle for second place in the GT4 class.
Yes, it's nice to see that Porsche looking very nice. It wasn't looking like that at the end of the race of the first session last night, I can tell you that much, but it's looking good at the moment.
Oh, Jetto, don't run wide, brother. Keep it tight. It's going to give Illogical Sports the incentive to make the move.
Yeah, they're part of the P51 SimSport franchise within our group. So they've got this GT4, the Porsche car running with their two drivers, Logical Sports and obviously Matty Seeking, who ran last night.
There we go. Logical Sports is going to make the move.
Yeah, nice big run down there. It looks like he's got that top end speed over the KTM, but the KTM can come back in a very nimble car as well.
Well, the advantage of the KTM too is the fuel that it can carry. It can carry a lot more fuel than any of the other cars, which also means that you can go longer. So expect Jetto to have shorter pit stops. The KTM does have to make 2 pit stops this session.
No, only 1. He's already done the 2. Yeah, because he's an AM driver, he was not a pro. Originally, when we were thinking about it being pro and pro, the rules state for the GT4 they must be a pro and an AM, but the wildcard entry, there was a stage where it could have had 2 pro drivers, so we sort of decided if that was the case, they'd have to do 4 minimum stops. But with Jetto as an amateur driver, it's been able to fit in within the rules and regulations, so it's 3 stops, so they've already did the 2 last night under the Commander Cirrus. And that's what he said. His fuel numbers came up that it could come up and do 36 laps, and he did 37 laps. So he was 1 lap short of being able to do the whole session without fuel if he wanted to. So a bit of fuel conserving, they would be able to do it without filling up. So he could actually do a stop and go with no fuel if he really wanted to.
Well, it's actually more advantageous just to short fuel a little bit and just put the 5 seconds worth of fuel in the pit stop.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Would be a lot faster. We're talking about Cirrus, who's multi-class racing to the extreme to this weekend. He's obviously run the GT4 yesterday, and now he's jumped in the car after Dark Lord, bringing it home in second in the first session. He's currently holding second to the man just behind him, Dark Racing 40. Teammates with our co-commentator here is Sato. And they're doing a terrific job in that number 15 Border Racing Ligier, the only Ligier off the grid. One thing about the LMP3 class in this series at the moment, Sato, is we're all guaranteed a podium as long as we finish the race. There's only the 3 entries. Which was,
still going to finish ahead of the GT4 cars though.
That's it, yeah, you do. You've got to finish in front of them, exactly. But currently at the moment, they've got a bit of a gap on the laps that they have done.
So Datto Datto would have passed. That's the Aston Martin. So that's just driving the Aston Martin. Commander Jim.
That's our Commander Jim, yeah. So currently, he's in All-Sim class.
Yeah. Pedaling along, waiting for the guys on the podium to close up. Or have an incident, and then he'll pick up the spoils.
Yeah, ever so consistent, and
there's a bit of traffic at the moment too.
A little bit of traffic, yeah, in between. He's cutting through almost
past Jetto, and yeah, he's coming up to Logical Sports.
Yeah, he might be able to duck down the inside before the carousel, but I doubt he's a bit too far away, so he's going to have to hold. And with the aero, he should be able to duck down the inside here nice and cleanly, which he's done.
Yeah, he's done. Perfect management there.
And they're all in the comms together in the race chat, so they would communicate this as well to the best of their ability. Some people can't talk and drive at the same time, so they're normally a bit more silent than others, which is, there's not much chatter during our races at all. We really recommend there's not much talk, it's only race talk for positions and things like that. But as we said, some people obviously have that, when they do talk, sometimes they get a bit distracted at the same time.
Or special the concentration needed to beat some of these guys. It's low ones early pit stop there. Ooh, and that car's not
You can
looking
see
too
why.
good.
So he's been chasing down, obviously Tim and Jack in that the Ford Mustang, and he's come into a little bit of strife, which we've missed. Which is unfortunate. But at least with it, we know with these GT4 cars, that will be his stop with fuel and tyres, and he should be right to go to the end now.
Yep, so
they don't have to do any mandatory the number of pit stops, as they were disconnected before they took any pit stops last night, and they had obviously enough penalty. As you can tell, Lolux had to wait nearly 10 minutes before he could get into the race tonight. And this is just holding up these two guys.
No, Cirrus has made the mistake there. He got caught out by Jetto. They put him off slightly. Now that's cost him the position.
Cost him big time now, so now we'll have to wait and see what Darky can do. I think Darky at the moment has been the fastest man on track, posted the fastest on quite a few laps back, so he's unleashed now, so we'll see if he can actually start making inroads on Datto.
The critical thing for Darky is that make sure he doesn't do what I did yesterday, make the pass for position and then spin out a couple of corners later.
But geez, he's gapped him fairly quickly. He's already put on nearly 2 seconds on Cirrus, so Cirrus is obviously trying to compose himself after that. And that's exactly what you said, Sato. Sometimes it does. You mentioned earlier, probably about 2 minutes ago, about the concentration levels needed.
And that doesn't help Cirrus either.
No, it
been
doesn't.
held up by his P51 Sports teammate.
Yeah, the GT4 class. So that's what we're getting at before we've seen that battle between him and Darky battling on, and they're the LMP3 P51 Sim Sports cars of Dark Lord and Commander Cirrus.
Dark Lord wasn't thrilled with that mistake there.
So we're coming up to the half an hour mark, leaving us an hour left of this race. It would have been a total of 3 hours in total of race time, because we did our hour and a half on Saturday night for the first session. And then we use a time compression to group everyone back into the field again, so that everyone has a chance of the race to the best based on their time. So we did have some guys finishing roughly about 83 odd seconds or so behind the other car, and that the time compression brings them back down to around that 25 seconds or so. So keeps the interest for everyone, of all our members. We can keep fighting for that victory no matter what when we have these multiple session races. Keeps the excitement level up.
Yeah, it was handy having the time compression. There's been relatively close within the pit stop, so it's opened the question with this LMP3 battle as to who's going to come out on top. Obviously Datto needs to bridge the gap a little bit. He would have seen on the standings that Dark Racing 40s got past the Cirrus, so now Datto's got to put his head down to try and build the gap.
Yeah, obviously being the first round of the 4-round series, it's obviously lessons are being learnt right across the grid at the moment of different strategies that could pay out. Obviously there's still plenty to go, but at this stage you can sort of see, I think the leading our team at the moment, number 80 of Vumi Tweaks Racing, Janetta, may have probably sort of was thinking that maybe we could get away with it, but there's still a way to go. There's still a lot of traffic and time to be gained from Datto to try and get more of a gap out of the two LMP3 cars. The battle that they did have, we obviously thought might have slowed them down that little bit more, but at the moment now we just got to wait and see what happens with their chase. But definitely we've got Nürburgring next week, GP. And then round 3 will be Zhuhai International Circuit on the 26th and 27th of June. Sure to be a very exciting race around that Chinese circuit there. And then we go to New Zealand to finish off at Rapuna Park GP.
God.
And If you, what was that? Bolux, was it?
the change of cameras, and
Oh,
and
right.
Lolux vanished. Where on earth did he go?
Yeah, so what a change of track from Road America here tonight, Saturday, to the final round, Rapuna Park over in New Zealand. A very, like basically a short lap time for these LMP3 cars. A lot of corners, narrow. Sure should be some exciting racing.
Yeah,
And
it's going to be tough for the LMP3s to get past the GT4 cars at Rapuna. Because as you said, it's a very, very narrow track.
Yeah, that's right, and even the GT4s, I can see some really good battles happening there, and it could even be a nice little track for the Mustang as well, maybe. The Janettas do show a lot of strong form there, though.
Yeah, it'll be Janettas of both classes that'll be strong.
Nurburgring at the moment, what's he got? He's got still a 38. He's actually extended that from a logical. He's 39 seconds. Just trying to think what did Illogical start? What was the difference between him and Nurburger? I'm just having about 36 seconds. Actually, no, it was 43. So Logical Sports has gained a little bit. Yeah, around about that 4 seconds.
Almost a second lap quicker in the last lap Logical Sports was on Nurburger.
But we did see earlier, didn't we, that Nurburger had less fuel, so he's going to actually have to stop longer in that mandatory pit stop that he's still got to do. So that could be a telling factor as well, where Logical can actually gain some time on him, and a Logical as well. They've already done their 3 pit stops. They did the 3 pit stops in the first session. So that's going to be very interesting there. So depending on how his fuel economy is Illogical, he may only get a little bit of fuel in as well, and off he goes.
Yeah,
or could he stretch it out without pitting at all? We don't know. I think it might be too much to ask.
Yeah, the only car we could sort of say would be the best chance to make it without stopping is Jetto. But obviously Jetto does have to transit the lane due to the 2 stops being completed in that first session.
Yeah, that's right.
I do respect Commander Jim's style this race. He's not set for World War 5. He's just plodding away the laps and just hanging in there.
Whenever you see a nice straight car, especially an Aston Martin, I think it gets everyone excited. They're a nice sounding car, and definitely a nice colour scheme there.
There was a bit of a twitch in the rear though, so I'm going to crank that anti-rock, that brake bias a bit forward. That looks like
maybe you might have to join the BNS Birder Martin team and run their pit teammate there and let them know. But I'm sure that I'd love to have someone with your knowledge, Sato, as a pit crew member. Always good with strategy, always have been. And so they continue on, and that was lucky Dado. He would have had a heart moment there. Coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, they just gave each other just enough room there. And that's obviously the mindset that Dado's thinking, that he has to push hard and can't afford to lose any time at the moment. Because Dark Racing 40, he is absolutely flying. He's just dropped into a 1 minute 59 for the first time this session.
Wow, that's pretty fast, and the track is actually a lot hotter than yesterday, and yourself, Sato, you did a 159.443 yesterday to be the lap record.
Yeah, so there's the lap. Crucially, no one's had a penalty, which is a stark contrast to last night where everyone got a penalty. Granted, all those penalties were removed. We sort of bugged the game a bit because we had to pull up on that formation one.
Yeah, we had to do that for I think it was Highlander's wheel didn't calibrate properly, but the time that Talon set in the leading Janetta in that team CRCP car was a 220.049, so they're not too far off that either tonight. So there is a bit of grip there tonight, even with the track temperature. It's later in the afternoon, going on to about 5 p.m. in game time in the next 25 minutes. We started at 4.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
we're just
goodness,
talking about
that's
the Aston Martin, and it looks like he's just had a massive moment. Unfortunately for Commander Jim, the commentator's curse. It was only a lap ago we were talking how nice the car was looking. Oh, I feel sorry for those guys.
easily done in that corner. It's surprising how difficult that kink actually is to negotiate. You just get
Definitely in
slight
these
bit
cars,
wrong,
that's
just
right.
hit that curb on the right hand side, just wrong, and yeah, as you can see, it set them back big time. He's going to lose a lap to Nürburgring.
Yeah, he's munched the front and the back. You can see the back pushed in as well, so that's going to be some lengthy delays, and he may be fiddling around as well, trying to get his strategy right for this as well, so he may have to pull up before the bay and make sure he's got that all set.
But
as we saw last night happening a couple of times with Filth, I think.
Yeah, but as we saw with Lolux though, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. But every single time
getting the damage at this point is because they're in the pit stop window now. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt you on the end result, barring an extra 30 seconds added to your time.
Yeah, for the damage repair, exactly. But all the time that Tim and Jack can see those cars maybe coming in the pits in front of him, and he's rubbing his hands together and thinking, yes, come on, keep going to those pits, and maybe they can get a sneaky 7th position. It's all about endurance racing. It's never over until right at the end of these motor races, that's for sure.
Tell you what, Sirius is hanging in there. Like, he lost the position. He had a couple of bad laps there. I think he caught traffic in the wrong spots, but he's he had a pretty good lap on that last lap.
He was the fastest man around last lap. So yeah, he's definitely getting that pace. But I don't know if you found that last night, for all our viewers watching. I did experience that the track seemed to come and go a number of times throughout my session, where the grip seemed to leave a little bit, and then it came back, and you had all the grip in the world again. So it was funny how the track
more than the tyres. The tyres seem to phase in and out. So I found after 30 minutes the car would deteriorate a bit, but then 10 minutes later it came back. It had pace in it.
That probably explains it all there. So super words from the knowledgeable Sato. Always full of information.
Oh my god, fastest lap of the race, Sirius, he's flying.
159.797, so he's absolutely flying this P51 Sim Sports car. So not quite the fastest lap of the race, but the fastest lap of this session so far. So this is what Dado wants to see. He wants to see him. Oh, look, Darky's getting a little bit of traffic, but he should clear them all before turn 3.
Jim's back out on the track.
And it looks like he'll be a lap down there on Jetto. Yep. Now this is going to be good for Commander Sirius following, because he's going to get him into the carousel here, and he's got 2 GT4 cars, so he's not going to be able to clear him. Actually, he will get him. He's still got the downhill run yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be tight though. He's going to have to time it. He'll may get back through here, or might have to hold.
Oh, and he's gone
pulled it up nice. Nice driving by all cars involved there. Gave everyone some space. Jetto was very aware that Sirius won't have the proper turning, being off the racing line. Gave him that room. And probably some of the best drivers here in Australia and New Zealand on the Xbox, on the Project Cars too. Always ultra competitive with some of these times that we're seeing in the conditions we run in. Most of us have been doing it for a long time. We started our group back in 2016, and there's quite a few of the founding members still active and still racing, and have done a lot of miles on this game. A lot of frustration in the game, and a lot of also pleasure and excitement as well, with some very celebrated victories among the members. And look at this, Dark Racing has done that 59.6 that previous lap, so he's absolutely flying again as well. So he's cutting that time into Dado. Dado will not be happy seeing this, but he's just got to keep motoring on and just see what happens.
Well, Dado had a slow lap the last time, so he must have caught these two guys, Electrical Sports and Tim and Jack. He must have caught them in, really bad position.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's nearly pit window time for these cars around here in 40 minutes. So the next 10 minutes, you will probably start seeing the guys filtering in the LMP3 cars to make their, these guys will be their last stop that they have to do.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the leader of the motor race has to make 2 more mandatory stops. The stop must be a stop and go. It must be stopped at your pit bay. You can't just drive through the pits.
Yeah, and I assume Dado's strategy will be he'll do 2 short fill-ups rather than 1 long one and then stop and hold.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to let you know, and that's exactly what we're doing, Sato. So I've been inside knowledge, obviously being the team driver, the one that did the first session, and we elected to stay out. That was always our talk. If we manage a minute gap on the drivers, we'll stay out. And we managed that. We were about a minute, I think it was minute 12 or something roughly, I think. Not when the time compression was going to bring them back, but we just thought we could have still run. And it's still there for us to chase and run.
Yeah, it's certainly not over by any means.
Well, it's endurance racing. We do know that you start getting tired. You come in for this pit stop, you get nice tyres or whatever happens, you're feeling good, and then you just start lacking a bit of concentration, can creep in. An hour and a half's a long time. Staring at a TV screen doing this, and here comes Cirrus. He's been the first one to pull the... Yeah. So down to 60 km/h, and in he comes. So
got a lot of fuel on board though. That's a surprising move. Maybe he wants to get those fresh tyres on the car as soon as possible. Make a charge with an undercut.
You'll probably find that he'll need to probably fill up around about to 65 to 70 litres here.
So I'll be interested to see Dado. He's got the similar fuel. And Dark Racing 40's got a bit more.
And Ligier's just been a little bit better on the fuel, but I don't think that's going to, a litres not going to be much at all in the scheme of things.
No, it's going to be...
But we'll be interested to see what Cirrus puts in if he gets around that 65 to 70, or he's gone up to 80 litres, so he'll be enough to get to the end.
Yeah, well and truly. If he's done a full fill, that's a surprising
full tank,
move.
Yeah. 85 litres is full tank.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a surprising move there.
Yeah, he's going to have extra fuel at the end there for sure. We did our calculations around about 150 litres of fuel will burn throughout the event. Oh, yeah. Through not the event, the session, I should say, each session.
Yeah, Malaysia, for me, it was about 145, 150 litres.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say that, well, I still finished with 6 litres on board, but 6 litres to 0 litres. I don't think that really matters too much there, but maybe a tenth of a second here or there you might have saved. But
let's have a look at Nürburgring. He's getting low in the tank, 18.4 litres.
Yeah, so but this thing we haven't.
There you go.
Yeah, I think you might have been telling exactly what I was about to say. He's actually pulled out that gap a little bit to Electrical Sports. Was down to around that 38 or so. So he's managing that gap really well.
So where's Nürburgring? Is that turn 3 now?
No, Nürburgring. It wasn't Nürburgring. Oh, I can't remember. I can't say. Oh yeah, you were. Yeah, going up to turn 3, isn't he?
And Electrical Sports is now coming across. Yeah, so the long fill actually won't hurt Nürburgring. Electrical Sports is back half a second quicker on that lap.
So he had the freedom of having the gap in front of him before they had to start the session. So if you're just joining us, the guys actually, it was a standing start, it was a staggered start. And they had a hold time based on the compression time that was given to them after the first session last night. So we end up with a nice live result as we speak now. So you can see the reason, obviously, Tim and Jack and Lolux are so far behind. They had to wait 7.5 minutes and nearly 10 minutes respectively to those two drivers before they could start.
Tell you what, Jetta will be spewing that he had to he has to make the pit stop in this session, because you look at the amount of fuel he's got left. I'd say he'd be able to get to the end on that.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, he's got that one stop, as most people do. The only people that didn't have to do a stop was a Logical Sports, who's in second at the moment. They already did 3. His teammate, just having a look here, Matty Seeking did the 3 stops last night in the first session, the mandatory stops, got them out of the way. I think one was actually damaged, so that's why they got the 3.
Now done a 59.7.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He reckons he was talking 58s. We did see a 58 in early practice last night, I think it was, wasn't it? Someone did a 58. It was yourself, qualifying.
That's
yourself.
I got that. Yeah, did the 58 to go pole position.
Unbelievable time. So there's another proof of how fast some of these drivers are amongst us here. They can pull out these numbers sometimes.
Oh, hell. Okay, so now Dato's threatening to put a lap onto Commander Cirrus.
So that's how long that you lose in the pit. So and that was for full tank of fuel and then also tyres. But there's a possibility too, Sato, that Cirrus may have had engine damage repair on, and sometimes, as you know, when they go and do that, sometimes they say that they've got a little bit of an issue or something doing something. So sometimes it's good to also not have engine repair to be done, because I think I ended up with 4%. I don't know what you had in the Ligier, but at the end of the 90 minutes, there was only about 4% damage.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I think I accidentally repaired my engine at my when I did my first stop, because I had had that hit with the wall. And
you did too, yes.
It did the repair. I think it did everything, including engine and brakes.
Oh,
which is
right.
Actually, no. I remember it did.
So here comes Dato.
It did the rear brakes and the front brakes. And here goes Dato. Dato's now blinked. He doesn't want to get held up by Commander Cirrus.
Lolux is disconnected, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So after doing a good run, he actually bridged that gap to about 9 seconds to Nürburgring. So he actually he actually gained a second from when he started. So that's unfortunate that he's disconnected there.
Yeah, well, that makes 2 disconnects for that car.
Could we actually go to Tim and Jack and see what lap number Tim and Jack are on at all? So, they won't say what lap it's on, will it? Nah, okay, that's all right. Anyway, so it's about 43 minutes remaining.
Now, Dark Racing 40 assumes the lead of the race. Check back into Dato, he's just departing now. So at that amount of time, it looks like he will have changed tyres. In my opinion, it's silly if you're not doing all 4 tyres to change. Look at that, Cirrus is not even in shot. Cirrus has disappeared. Where's Cirrus? He's only just past the carousel.
Yeah, but maybe look at the fuel numbers as well. I think you'll probably find that he's got more fuel than what Dato has at the moment.
Look at that. That's a massive difference here. That's a massive error on Cirrus's part.
So just remember though that that's our strategy at the moment. He's obviously he's got to put some more fuel in the next stop as well, because we still have to do 2 to go. So obviously that's the idea, to try and keep the pace going in that car as best as we can.
What was the minutes that Cirrus pitted? Was it 48 or something?
Yeah, about 48. Yeah, remaining 48.
Might be okay to do that full fill up. I certainly
you'll get to the end.
Because you just The race directors
So-
almost rage quit the
Yeah,
lobby.
they press too many buttons, but that can happen. But we're looking at Dark Racing 40 at the moment, so he's got that 40-second lead on Dado. That's pretty much a drive-through, stop and drive through the pit lane, and he'd be lead of the motor race. But we know that he will have to make his get some fuel. He won't get to the end without
Yeah,
some
you'll
fuel.
have to put that 60 litres in roughly.
So we should see Dado effectively come back through as the leader of the race once we see Darky pit. It should be in the next probably. What do they burn? About 3 litres, 3.5 litres or so a
It's
lap.
3.1 to 3.2 litres
2
a lap.
litres a lap. Yeah, so he's got enough to do this and maybe squeeze out another 2 if he wants, or another. I reckon he'll just do one more. I think Sato.
Yeah, I'd say just one more. The good thing about this leisure is that it gives you the fuel number on the steering wheel, so you can always keep tabs on what you're burning, and it helps you adjust the strategy on the fly, and it can give you an idea of how long you can go before you have to pit. So say you got like you're sitting on 4 litres left in the tank. As you're rounding the final corner, you can go, well, I know I'm burning 3.2 litres a lap, I can do the extra lap and still make it with fuel in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I expect Darky to be... I expect him to drop back to about 20-25 seconds behind Dado.
Yeah, well, probably something like that. Could be a little bit more.
But you got to factor in the extra fuel that Darky's got to put in. I think the gap was down to about 12-13 seconds before Dado pitted.
So he's just done a 2-minute 5. 2.5, and we'll just see what obviously Dado can do once he gets out.
Oh, don't swerve right, man! Giving me a heart attack, Tim and Jack.
Yeah, look at that Ford Mustang, the boss. It's looking good there on track at the moment. Only about 4 seconds, just under 4 minutes. I mean, behind 7th Commander Jim.
I find this. There's a couple of cars near each other. There we go. Sirius is passing Steamer.
Again, so last time around they gave each other a bit of a heart attack, and we touched to one another. But motoring on through now. Once you've got about a 54-second gap behind Dado.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fairly close if Dado made his another pit stop. I think it'll be obviously Sirius out in front, but he wouldn't be that far in front if Dado made a stop for the extra fuel that he needs to put on.
Yeah, it's a bit close. Definitely a bit close. Well, Dado's punching out 59 straight away.
Yeah. So he's got the fresh tyres on, mid-fuel tank, where the guys that have just pitted before with their mandatory stop, they've obviously got full tanks. But the chase is on, so this is what's good about some of these strategies. And here comes the man leading the race, Dark Racing 40. Coming in for his final mandatory stop. Had to make three stops throughout the 2 sessions. Yep. And this number 15, Eligier, actually made their 2 stops in the first session. It's a nice looking car, the border racing car, especially at lights around some of the night tracks. So here comes Dado now, so he's just coming up to the final corner, so he'll resume the lead of this race.
Yeah. So Darky's still sitting there.
Yeah, still sitting there, but at this moment we can actually probably get a bit of a gauge to see how far Dado's run. Obviously he'll be a bit further in front than when Dado first when Dado went in because the less fuel, but we know that he's got to stop again. So that's Dado we're talking
Darky's actually
about.
put a bit more fuel than he probably needs. Sitting at that 69 litres. Oh, we've got the unfortunate man.
Safe number probably just to make sure.
So we've got one half of the unfortunate duo from this race. Lolax has jumped in. That's a cruel fate to happen in both sessions.
Yeah. That's what happened, mate.
It is what happens, mate, unfortunately. But yeah, we're having a nice little run there too. You'd already gained probably about a minute. I know you had to wait 10 minutes, but you pretty much brought back about a minute to the leader of the race at the time before you disconnected. So you were on a good run. And it's unfortunate, though, a very fast car.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just, you know, just stuff happened, so it's alright.
Remember what lap roughly it might have been? Was it around lap 12 or 15 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to win the race, so I was aiming for the lap record, but you know, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
But yeah.
enough, but yeah, you're keeping me, Tim and Jack though in front of you honest as well. You're slowly gaining on them, so yeah, we're hoping to see that at the end of the race to see a bit of a battle. But anyway, it wasn't not to be. But
Yep, that's the way.
Unlucky there, mate. But we've got a bit of a battle here for the lead of the race, the LMP3s. Darky's now come out and he's 21 seconds behind. But Dado's still got one more stop to make the mandatory 3 pit stops.
It's going to be very interesting at the end.
Definitely.
Alright, mate, well, I'm going to jump off and I'm going to jump onto the channel and watch it from there.
No worries.
Thanks
for
jumping
jumping
on.
Nice. Bye.
So we've just been asked by Talon actually, who was a teammate with Nürburger, if there's possibility that goes run through the GT4 fuel levels, would be very good. So
Yeah,
we've got
so
Illogical Sports leading the race at 20 litres. And Nürburger, who's obviously pitted to the end now with 56 litres, so he's looking very healthy, only 29 seconds behind Illogical, and I think Illogical obviously is going to have to stop again.
Jedi's still looking pretty.
Looking very pretty, isn't he? It's so true, these cars can go to the end, but he's just going to still have to make his mandatory stop, which will be a stop and go, so he's a threat to maybe Illogical. As Commander Jim's got 76, so he's right to the end. He had to pit early for damage as well. You can see that damage evidence. And Tim and Jack go all the way to the end. He's though he hasn't done, he's only had one pit stop in this whole event. He got disconnected early in this, late I should say, in the first session with Filth driving the car. So they don't have to worry about the mandatory stops. They don't have to make a minimum. They had enough penalty due to their low their wait time. So the race is still on for these GT4s, so got to keep an eye on them definitely. I know we've been showing quite a bit of the LMP3, but it's obviously been a very big talking point amongst the drivers about the way that the number 80 of Vumi Tweaks Racing decided not to make their mandatory second stop late in the race like the other two of the LMP3 cars.
Yeah, so it's still Dark Racing 40 with the net first place, but that gap is it's closing as Dado is still setting those blistering times.
But I tell you what, that's looking good though for Dado at the moment. He's maybe holding on to second at this stage if Commander Cirrus has any more little issues, because he's obviously starting to lose a little bit of pace, Cirrus. He's the slower of the 3 LMP3 cars at the moment. But that's up and down all the time depending on traffic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for me to see where Logical Sports got. He's got a 30-second gap to Nürburger. So it's so he'll come back out behind Nürburger, but the fuel levels will be interesting.
Yeah, I think Nürburgring's doing some nice times though. He's still in those 221s, and I have seen a 220, I think, from him. So he's got the pace. He's got the car under him as well in the 59 Team CRCP Janetta. But I tell you what, these guys, the P51 Sim Sports in this Porsche Cayman GT4, they've done a terrific job in a car that no one really wanted to touch. As you can see, the reason being he's holding on. It's very twitchy. Obviously, being a rear-engine car, it's a different way to drive, a different way to set it up. And Logic is really coming part of that car. He's doing a great job with it. He said basically his whole tuning ideas that he's had on project cars has had to go reverse in that car, totally upside down. So he's starting fresh again. You can see these Janettas, how they can get that pace. Look, they're sort of a low slipstream sort of car too, aren't they?
Yeah, so very effective for straight line speed, just to punch through the air. They don't necessarily have the grunt that cars like the Aston Martin, the Commander Jim is driving, or the Ford that Tim and Jack is driving, but just have enough, just a nice balanced car.
Okay, so we're just hearing from the Porsche garage as well, from Matty Seekin, saying that they only need roughly about 40 litres, but they don't need much fuel. So, and mentioning that it's not very twitchy car, it just doesn't turn. They're having trouble trying to turn in that Porsche, so got a lot of understeer. So, good little bit of info coming from the Porsche crew, pit box there. But currently there, Manny's on top in first position in the GT4 class, but with a very fast Nürburgring behind after Talano 2 absolutely set up their race in the first session. And I think the only thing that that was evidence in the stream, which you can catch, which will be uploaded on YouTube in the first session later on during, or probably sometime tonight.
Should already be uploaded, Woody.
It's already uploaded, so you can watch the first session there, but you do catch at the very end of that race Talon making his only mistake, I think it was, trying to put a lap on Matty Seeking and ended up in the wall. I think it was around here. I can't remember whereabouts the track, but it wasn't pretty for him.
It was at the right hand kink, I want to say.
Look at this, getting bonked by Cirrus and Jetto. Oh, Jetto almost had a little tank slip, I think, coming out of that corner and almost nudged into the side of Cirrus. Just under half an hour remaining of this race, and I think it's going to get very exciting very shortly when we see Dado needing the pit for his finals time, and see what he can do.
Oh, jeez.
Obviously making the most of that slipstream from the big Ford, but that was very close indeed from Dado and Tim and Jack.
Jack has run wide for good measure too.
So
it all takes, even like if something happens in your living room or wherever you got your sim ring set up, just take something abnormal to just catch your eye for a second and it can distract you for a couple of corners.
Oh, definitely. Anyone with small kids know about that.
Oh no, Dado! Careful, buddy. You still got to make another pit stop, mate.
Yeah, but
keep it tidy.
He's like any true master, he's had it all under control. Just had to get it back onto the black stuff.
Yeah, but
hear him off the throttle, didn't keep it in.
I understand that mentality though, because yeah, he does he does have to push. He's got to push, but he can't afford to make a mistake.
Yeah, that's cost him a bit. Look, the last lap he was on 59, so he was on a fly to that last lap, and that's just cost him 2 seconds there. So that's obviously helped Darky. But I think the gap that he's looking at, I honestly think the gap he's looking at would be him and the P51 Sim Sports of Commander Cirrus in third. I think that at the current rate, the way that Darky's been driving tonight, absolutely brilliant. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Had a nice move on Cirrus to take second in the race. he definitely looks very strong with 26 minutes remaining.
Yeah, he's actually driving the car properly, which is a good thing. Yeah, it was pretty hopeless last night.
I wouldn't say that. There was a few things that obviously caught you out, but that's what happens when you drive in 10 tenths and on, especially on a fast, nimble car like a car that's on edge to get the most out of it. And that's what sometimes happens. But look, you're effectively the race leader at the moment. If it all pans out as the way it should.
That mistake from Dado didn't hurt him too much there, because Darky didn't exactly set the world on fire, so I'm wondering if the track's just falling away from a lot of these guys. I've seen the pace just drop off a bit this last little bit.
There could be that, or what you said before about the tyres graining. I think most of the guys would have put new tyres, or you think that they would have put tyres in that pit stop that they did. I know we in the Avumi Tweaks Racing Janetta, that was all planned to put 4 new boots on this car.
Well, as I said to Darky at the end of session 1, is I only changed the 2 front tyres, and it was working well until about 20 minutes to go, and then the rear just started to just want to overtake all the time. Very handful, a massive handful in those last few laps for me.
Yes. Maddie's talking about the mistake that never happened apparently. Was that between himself and Maddie somewhere along the line? I don't know what it was, what they're talking about there.
They're chatting about Talon's mistake there. He's going, no, don't focus, don't talk about your mistakes there. The mistakes that never happened. But the car's close together. How serious it all is. How serious is the
Just coming into the carousel.
Yeah, he's going back quite a bit, and Dado he's starting to factor himself into a race win here. If he keeps punching out these metronomic lap times.
Yeah, but as we said, a transit time of around without any fuel is around about 42, 43 seconds. So with Darky only got 20 seconds behind down the road, and we know that Dado's got to actually put fuel in. He didn't fill up the tank in his first pit stop, short field. Looks like he's going to need
Dado
to put
this lap. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got to roughly put another 30 litres, maybe just under that, but it's probably about 30 litres of fuel in.
He's going to go around the outside. That's ambitious. He's got the grip to do it though.
Yeah, but that's also the track does get a little bit slippery out there, so listen to that buzz box of that KTM that he just passed. Jetto. Logical Sports is taking his pit stop for fuel in that Porsche, so we'll see if Nürburgring what he can do.
Yep, so the fuel's going in. Obviously with Porsche cars, the fuel tank's in the front.
So here comes Nürburgring coming up the main straight, so he looks like he's going to take control of this race in the GT field as the Logical's rolling in pit lane.
So that gap has closed quite a bit from the start.
It has. It's actually when we were talking last about the two, there was about a 40-second gap between Nürburgring and Logical. So I think the Logical's bridged that gap a little bit. And it's probably all to do with the fuel numbers that he had to put in. We did say that Nürburgring started light on fuel as well. So he had to stop longer for more fuel compared to a Logical. So when this all evens out, we should see, there we go. So from 40 seconds down to about 12 seconds. So that's a big boost for the P51 Sim Sports Porsche team. And just remember, Matty, it's freedom of speech here, so Huds can go Dado if he wants, because we're looking at the man right now.
No, I agree with Matty. Dirty words from Huds. Dirty words.
No, well, let's egg him on, because this could be it's just a magical move by the team by calling a two-stopper in the second session. No one was game to touch it other than ourselves.
Darky's found a bit of pace in that last lap.
Dado again had to take it around the outside, but lucky it was only on entry. It would have been 2 laps in a row. He would have had to sacrifice his lap around the carousel.
Here's Darky. He's hanging in there. That's close to that exit curve. The Ligier does not like exit curbs.
Yeah, and see, we've still got 20 minutes, and this is exactly what we said around half an hour ago about the endurance racing, sitting in the sim rig, looking at the TV screen for 90 minutes, starts to get tiresome. You mentioned about the distractions that can happen within the household as well at the same time. And anyone that knows dark racing, he has got some kids that he does like to talk very friendly to. So
Oh, no!
just in front was the Aston Martin. This is exactly what can happen in anything in endurance racing. That's why it is never over, and that could have ruined Sado's and dark racing's race right there.
Vietnam flashbacks to last night there.
Wow, that was so close. Dark Racing 40 just got through that. I bet you he probably squeezed his bum cheeks at the same time as he went through there, as his teeth was gritting.
No, I think that was flowing.
So here comes Commander Jim. He's going to be now sacrificing this 4th position, and he may come into like Tim and Jack may be able to come in and join if there's a few more incidents. I understand there, but just if another incident like that, and you never know.
Unlikely, but again, this is endurance racing. Anything can happen. Anything happens here more than F1. Like,
yep.
Murray
and look at this. You got, what have we got? 19 minutes remaining, and that's probably roughly a time of most of our sprint races that we do through series. 19, 20 minutes, some are 25 minutes. So, you know, everyone gets pumped up for those sort of races. So they've got to do that again. Yep, they've already been under the saddle for an hour and 10 minutes.
I tell you what, this guy, he's driven a brilliant race.
Nürburgring's done a terrific job, and that car absolutely looks brilliant on track too. When those flames just coming out of that Janetta, it was a great shot.
It's definitely the car to beat, I'd say. It seems even in pre-season testing, they've been the benchmark set for these GT4 cars.
Yeah, he's done really well, Nürburgring. And that's a good little omen for myself coming into Le Mans. We're both teaming up in that other Porsche car, teaming alongside you guys, both yourself, Sado, and Dark Racing 40.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't often see Nürburgring out and about in cars other than prototypes, and he's jumped into the GT4 that's the complete opposite of an LP1 prototype, and he's excelling.
Yes, Dark Racing just takes it down the inside there to continue on. He's chased for Dado. At the moment, they're roughly 30 seconds off Dado.
Yeah, Darky's had...
But yeah, exactly that. I think Nürburgring answered the call from Talon early on when Talon was after a teammate in this series. And I think Nürburgring just said, yeah, I'll join. I'll give it a go. And when I saw that driver pairing, I basically replied in our Facebook group, which you can see is at ANZCRL. Straight off the bat, I said that looks like a very strong pairing of that too, of Talon and Nürburgring, and they're proving that tonight, round 1.
Yeah, let's hope we can see him hanging around for future series to come.
Definitely, mate, definitely. But as we know, some guys move on to bigger and better things, and sure, he's just obviously probably looking at some of his telemetry or something there. He's all distracted.
Yeah, getting a bit distracted, and he's going to start feeling under pressure. Illogical Sport is absolutely flying.
Yeah, and the race is definitely not over, and that's what we were saying earlier. And look at the wildcard entry of Jetto, 13 behind too.
Yeah, that car's still got a pit though, so don't forget
still
that.
got a
still
pit.
got a pit.
Okay, I didn't know he was still at the pit.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen him transit the lane yet, so it's just been plodding away. It's cruel because yeah, he absolutely could make it on that one tank of fuel. Oh, hello. What's happened here?
What's happened where?
Look at the gap. Something's happened to Dado.
Oh, something has happened to Dado.
He's coming into the pits.
Now. Doesn't look like anything's bent, but he might have had a little off moment.
Fuel. Yeah, nothing looks bad. I think he's at a spin, but yeah, because I just saw the gap, because it was out to 30 seconds, and then I saw it at 16.
Yeah, so that's absolutely killed his chance there to maybe put that last minute pressure on Darky, but obviously he's going to come very close now to Commander Cirrus, because that also has brought Cirrus back into it.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden we could have a battle for second place.
I think you'll probably find Cirrus will be right on him on exit here, like out of turn 1. I reckon Dado will just be in front, because Cirrus will have the run down this straight.
Yeah, he's rolling now, so actually Dado might have a bigger gap than we initially thought would happen.
Yeah, it's a long crawl out pit bay, I think. Oh no, so I thought it was one of the first for me last night, so no, it's not too bad for Dado.
Yes, he's got he's got some room now, so that's a comfortable second place, but obviously he'll be spewing that he's made that mistake.
Yeah, well, you probably, as you said, another 10 seconds in front of that would have been, what, 17 seconds? It's just come up now, 27 seconds behind Darky. If he was only that 17 seconds, oh, who would have thought, you don't know what could have happened. Darky then knows, and if Darky could have started eating and getting those times down with 15 minutes remaining, it could still happen too. If Darky starts seeing, look at it now and see he's about 26 seconds in front. If he has a look in a couple more laps time and it's below 20, he could cause Darky to make a little bit of an error here or there, trying to push on.
Yeah, it has been a good drive so far, touch wood.
It's been a very nice drive. I'll try and give as much commentator curse as I can to Dark Racing 40 at the moment. But I think he's got it all covered at the moment, because he has. Neither what he had to do tonight is exactly what he's doing now. Just keep it on the black stuff. Don't get into any silly positions, lapping traffic. And look, he's just giving that curb a lot of respect. He's going nowhere near the outside curb, coming onto the starting straight, the front straight.
Yeah. What about more experienced drivers in the league? I think Darky and yourself have been here the longest, but I think Darky's had the more race starts.
Oh, definitely the most race starts. Yeah, he's got all the miles.
Look at this GT4 battle at the start.
Other driver that's been around for pretty much close to the start as well was Highlander. He's been around for a long time as well. I look back at some of the results, and he popped up there early in the years.
Yeah, he's in and out, but yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to him last night, because he looked to be the fastest GT4 driver.
Well, that and Lolux's his teammates got disconnected too, so they both had to disconnect, so things weren't going their way. You basically say they have had car problems all weekend.
Yeah.
But logical. He's still trying to chase down Nürburger.
He took out 2 seconds on that last lap, so he's charging at 7 seconds with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye. Oh, what's going on here?
Darky coming up. Oh!
Just had my game, just like to press a button, because my Xbox went into a little bit of a sleep mode, I think. But anyway, we're all back again. Hopefully that didn't destroy the stream, but we should be back again.
Yeah, Darky's there's something's going on with that front of the car, where every time it approaches a GT4 car, it just seems to push the GT4 car off the road.
I think it's just the enigma of Dark Racing 40 popping up on their screen behind them that just gets them a little bit off the track moments.
So Darky's backing off just a little bit. Just that's all he needs to do. He just needs to cruise to the finish. Look at that, he's a mile away from those curbs.
Yeah, sometimes they were doing that. We've also heard it even in the professional real life drivers, and you hear in the commentary sometimes when the drivers just back off a little bit, that's where sometimes they make mistakes as well. You know, they just sort of relax a little bit. As you can imagine, they're so intense in the cockpit of the cars, racing drivers.
It's all about risk management, so it's not necessarily backing off, but it's controlling the risks that you take.
That's right, and Dado, they've still got to be careful. He's obviously got 10 minutes remaining. He's about 15 or so seconds, or it's actually 13 seconds in front of Cirrus. They're roughly lapping the same times.
Lap, so yeah, Dado can't not off behind the wheel because that second place is not safe yet.
No, it's not.
Look at that. Illogical Sports, again, another second taken out. We've got 10 minutes to go.
I think this is the battle we need to concentrate on, the lead for the GT4 class. Watching both Nürburgring and Illogical Sports.
And look at that, Illogical Sports, he'll be able to see. Around this corner on board on the roof camera, and you'll see Nürburgring out the distance. There he is, going under the bridge.
Yes, isn't that a nice sight? Any driver, any sim racer, when you've been chasing down and you've been trying to chase your competitor down, and you can finally start to see them. I don't think you need much more incentive to push that little bit faster, a bit further, once you start seeing that. But I don't think Illogical has to do much. He's just got to keep doing what he's doing, because as we've been mentioning, he was 2 seconds a lap faster the previous lap, and then a lap before this one, and then a second faster this last lap. So the last 2 laps he's eaten around 3 seconds into the time of Nürburgring. Tense moments for the team CRCP Janetta team of Nürburgring and Talon 02. Just see Matty Seeking probably on the edge of his seat. He probably doesn't even want to look at the monitors at the moment. Just fingers crossed, everything crossed that he can have crossed.
Even crossing the limbs of his missus.
Oh, we won't go there, but there we go. Not quite a married man yet.
Is a bit the tester. Is a bit slower this lap, the Illogical Sports. We'll see what Nürburgring's time is when he crosses. He'll start feeling the heat there. This may come down to experience more than anything.
Should we have a look at the fuel numbers and make sure? I'm pretty sure Nürburgring will have more than enough fuel. Yeah, he's got enough to get there.
Yeah, no, they're pretty comfortable, both of them.
Yeah, Commander Cirrus.
Nürburgring. 21.6 for Illogical.
I think Commander Cirrus is roughly still the same distance, around about 14-13 seconds behind Dado at the moment.
Yeah.
So
only close by the 3/10 on that previous lap. But it's Darky that's
the fastest.
Yeah. So he's still pressing on.
Oh, that was a
oh
wiggle.
no!
Oh, he's nearly rolled it, Cirrus. He's spinning around on that
720. Going for style points.
Was that a 720, 1080? I don't know. That was unbelievable. He was just spinning like a bottle top on that curb. These cars, these LP cars, they have a flat bottom, and once you get on them, they just start. Your wheels are off the ground, and you're just spinning, as we saw. And he was so lucky he didn't roll it. As Jetto's in for that mandatory stop. He's safe. He's got enough gap there to get out before Commander Jim. And look at this, 5.5 seconds gap for the lead. I don't know about the commentator's curse there on Cirrus.
Oh, he's pitted.
We're trying to get it for dark racing.
Okay, so this is interesting.
Well, he's got nothing to lose anyway. He might be going for the fastest lap now, putting new tyres on. No points for fastest lap, just glory. But yeah, that's what all I can think. Because it didn't look like he hit anything, did he? He was just spinning around on that curb. Nah, just tyres, I think.
No, that was too quick for tyres.
Interesting.
I am confused.
Unless he got he wouldn't. No, it's normally a drive-through. They don't give a stop and go. So anyway,
Yeah.
something's happened there. So anyway, that's Commander Cirrus run for second, Don. Now we've got 5.5 seconds, as we were saying. He did that all on his own. And sim racing can be a cruel thing, and motorsport can be a cruel thing, and endurance racing, as we've seen that Witches has been hit about 3 or 4 times now. And we just don't know what happened. We've got Nürburger out in front with that sun blaring down into his eyes, to his visor, and he's got some car in front there. Might be one of the
looks like Commander Jim.
Yeah.
The beefy sounded Aston Martin. So that could cost Nürburger some time and draw a logical end. We've got just under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, oh, a little bit of wiggle from a logical, but we saw the 45 laps from the LMP3 cars quite comfortably last night. So I could imagine they're still going to do that. So there's probably another 3 laps of this race left. So there's still more than enough time for Logical Sports to make a last-ditch run for victory here at Road America for round 1 of the ANZCRL Combined Racing League's Team Endurance Championship over 4 rounds. There's still opportunities for anyone to team up. Every team must have 2 drivers to drive on a Saturday night and a Sunday night. Driver each session, so you have to have a team of 2. So someone drives Saturday, the other driver drives Sunday. There's still wildcard entries open for each event. So if you only want to run in one event, head over to our website, aus-nzcrl.weebly.com and hit that link for the endurance series and have a look at all the info there, and you can enter as a wild card if you've got a mate. Enter the 2 gamer tags, pick a car,
Yeah,
and
one race
join
leader
in.
passing another race leader.
Yeah, nice, well picked up, Sano.
I didn't see Illogical in the background. A bit of a surprise there. Still hanging in
Still
there.
hanging in, but
1.1 seconds faster.
yes, this is going to get interesting. It always seems to be the way.
Well, I think Nürburger might have had a bit of a moment there in turn 1 too.
Yeah, and as you said, he's still catching up to the back of this Aston Martin, so he hasn't cleared him yet. So this is going to get very, very interesting. And 2 more laps to go, we're predicting. And there's the Logical, just coming underneath the bridge, closer than he's ever been for the lead of this race.
Can he get there? Oh, mistake there a little bit for Nürburger. He just ran a slight bit wide.
I love this shot of the cars coming up over the rise there. Beautiful graphic there.
There's what's called in the background. He's getting closer and closer.
This is going to be one of the widest Genettas that Logical would have come across if he does get on the tail of Nürburger. Nürburger's not a man that would like to give away this hard-fought victory. He's been the lead of the race all long since Talon gave him the controls of the car tonight. Big effort.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, it's the Aston Martin. It's his favourite corner to go off there. We've seen some very dicey moments through there. He wants to make sure he doesn't get involved with Nürburger and probably try and let Logical through nice and easy to see if we can get a nice little run to the flag for the GT4 race. class victory. Looks like the Logical's still about 4 seconds behind.
Yep. Oh, it's a bit wide there for Commander Jim.
So we've got a
Dado's going
minute
to stick
remaining.
his car in as well.
This could actually be the last lap, maybe.
Yeah, yes, might be. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Oh, have you seen Darky's lap time?
Oh, there's the official lap record around here, the 159.059 for the LMP3 cars.
He's trying to get that last lap. He's not going to quite get there. He's going to fall a bit short. That's Oh no!
Dano almost took out the class leader. That would have been not a very nice word's been thrown out if that did happen, but Nürburgring's got to just settle himself down as Logical Sports is a car behind. He's got a car behind him and a Logical.
Yeah, Logical needs to dispatch of Commander Jim quickly. The problem with the Logical Sports, he needs Nürburgring to make a sizable mistake.
Yeah, this is actually will be the last lap. It won't be. This is we've got Dark Racing 40 coming on through to take victory after 3 hours of racing.
Yeah, so just watch Dark Racing 40 is going to cross the line, and that's going to be victory for the number 15 Ligier.
Unbelievable, great run. They did everything right. The strategy worked out for them perfectly.
Pole position, race win, fastest lap. A very strong performance there as he's going to do victory burnouts. We've got to quickly go to the battle. This is for 4th place now. Dada's going to cross the line in 2nd place.
And that's a good result with a different strategy by that car, 80 over Tweak's car. But look at this as Logical. Don't take anything away from a Logical, but the man who's won the class victory of the GT4s, this man, Nürburgring 79. What a great run with Talon 02. Congratulations in that CRCP car.
Yeah, what a victory for those guys there. They drove solidly all race. Illogical Sports got so close there, but just didn't quite have enough time to bridge the gap.
I tell you what though, I think the Porsche people, this P51 Sim Sports cars will be pretty excited to get to Nürburgring next week. I think they've got a nice car for that run in there. I think they can really challenge the Genettas.
And we can pretend this battles for position because we've got 3rd and 4th place on screen there. They still haven't finished. Unfortunately, there's a lap between them.
How about this though, the wildcard entries? So we talked about wildcard entries. It's still open for anyone that wants to enter for the 3 remaining rounds as a wildcard entry for any of the races. Jetto and Commander Cirrus coming home in 3rd as a wildcard. Commander Cirrus also 3rd in the LMP3 class, doing double duties in both classes. As he goes, Commander Jim looking down the inside.
Yeah, showing his nose, trying to force Jetto into a mistake. But Jetto, not a bad drive for someone who didn't find out he was racing until about 4 hours ago.
Well, there you go. If you want a wildcard entry, that's exactly how you do it, right at the last moment. And what a run by those guys in the KTM crossbow.
Well, here we go. We're going to get drag race, and the Mustang's going to get him. Jetto
got him, but that was a lap down, so he basically got himself back on that other lap. But there you go. What a terrific race, and what a victory by the number 15 Border Racing Ligier of Sato 15 and Dark Racing 40. Congratulations, Sato. I'm sure you'll be enjoying that right as we speak. And then in 2nd is myself and Dado Racer in the number 80 of Vumi Tweaks Racing Genetta. And then coming home third, and the last of the LMP3 cars is the number 11 P51 Sim Sports of Dark Lord 78 and Commander Cirrus. So what a great opening round of the LMP3 battle. But the battle that we did have at the end was between this man, Nürburger 79, and Talon in the team CRCP. What a great victory from those guys, just edging out Illogical Sports and Matty Seeking in the P51 Sim Sports Porsche. And then, as we said, the wild card of Jetto and Commander Cirrus. So Commander Cirrus will get double dose of third positions there tonight. And Commander Jim, a bit of a lonely race in that Aston Martin. And was looking good mid-race until a few little incidents came his way. But he had a good run with Night Havoc to come home in fourth. And then Tim and Jack picking up fifth in that Mustang. And unfortunately, the race favourites early on, I think without a doubt, was basically Highlander and Lolux, having car troubles all weekend long and finishing a lonely ninth position, well, with a DNF. All right, well, I've been your host, Woody Lizard, and alongside me has been Sato 15. Congratulations on your victory, and thanks for the commentary and some expert knowledge you've given to some of the viewers.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, Woody, and thanks for providing some good competition for us.
That's what it's all about, good healthy competition for Australian, New Zealand Xbox sim races. So I've said enough about where you can find us, but quickly, ANZCRL, search that on Facebook or on Google or anything like that on your search engine, and we should pop up somewhere along the line there, and come and see us. And we race Saturday, Sunday nights from about 7 p.m. New South Wales Victorian time. So you'll always see a lot of us guys out and about, and come and have a chat. And we're more than welcome to welcome you into our community. Until next week, when we find ourselves for round 2 at the Nürburgring GP, be safe. All our fellow Victorians, we feel for you during this lockdown. Keep your chin up. Things will get better, as they always are, but we can't do much about government. So there you go. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Cheerio.